Good afternoon, and thank you for viewing this webinar today. Today, we're going to talk about a new technology that we have launched in conjunction with First Aid Only, Acme United. And we have gone ahead and bought you a ProSafe solution for first aid that allows you, the seller, to help our customers stay compliant with ANSI regulations when it comes to first aid. All of the items you're going to see today are branded ProSafe, so they're branded our internal brand. And my name is Rebecca Avery. I'm the Category Manager for First Aid and Signage at MSC. And I want to introduce James Sullivan, who's the Customer Marketing Manager for First Aid Only, Acme United. James?
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining this webinar. We're just going to go ahead and start by talking about smart compliance, why you should use smart compliance, and how Safety Hub can help you guys sell more first aid and first aid refills. So as you can see here on this slide, this is a picture of one of our XL smart compliance cabinets that we can use to compete with the general 2, 3, and 4 shelf first aid cabinets that you typically see out in the field. As you can see, the smart compliance is unique to First Aid Only in that each individual refill item has its own cubby. All the boxes snap into place, so there's never any confusion as to which item goes where when you're reordering. And this unique design eliminates disorganization. Typically, when you open up a first aid station like this, you're going to see a whole mess of refill products scattered all over the place, which makes it really difficult to find what you need during an emergency. So with this smart compliance design, everything is neat, clean, and organized. And with these patented snap-in boxes, you are able to eliminate waste and only have to order what you need when you need it. And Smart Compliance does this with its Smart Tab Easy refill system. And so when you get about 2/3 of the way done with each product, a yellow Smart Tab will pop up indicating that it's time to reorder. You'll still have about 1/3 of the inventory for that refill item available, but it's a Smart Tab that's going to tell you what the refill item number is and indicate to the user that it's time to reorder. And so we launched Smart Compliance to compete directly with the van services like Cintas. And so with these van services, they will come to a customer's location and refill their first aid cabinet for them. And end users and customers typically like this because they can write it off and have somebody else manage the inventory for their first aid kit. The problem with this, however, is that there's quite a lot of fees that are associated with having a van delivery service like Cintas. And typically, you can save about 50% on refill supplies when you have a self-managed system like Smart Compliance over a van service. And this is typically due to the fact that Cintas is a contracts commission-based reps to do the refills for these cabinets, and so that means they're working on commission. They're not typically concerned with expiration dates or overstuffed cabinets. They're trying to jam as much refill product as they possibly can into your cabinet when they're on site, and oftentimes throwing away product that still has 6 months dating on it to put a new product in to try and make the sale. So we typically see overstuffed cabinets with customers that use van delivery services. And we see bills much like this, as you can see on this slide, where there is just a bunch of hidden fees. You know, they have fuel service fees, they have a cleaning fee to wipe your cabinet down with a rag. And all these fees end up adding to quite a bit, and they tend to discourage customers from wanting to continue business with them. On top of that, the Cintas model, generally, they will stop by once a month on scheduled visits. If you're ever in a situation where you run out of inventory on your first aid cabinet and you need a product immediately, they're going to charge you a large fee to show up on site that's not in their scheduled visits. Um, and on top of that, they don't provide any information on forecasting to their customers. They'll just slap you with a bill, and unless you're actively monitoring these invoices, there's no way for you to go back and say, "Hey, Cintas, can I get um, a forecast or a report on my last 6 months of usage?" They do not provide that, and that puts customers at a big disadvantage because they can't accurately forecast their spend and manage their inventory. Um, this slide right here shows you two cabinets that we found out in the field when we were doing some market research. These were customers that used a van delivery service to stock their cabinets. And as you can see at this top image, you've got um, items on top of items. You can imagine that during an emergency, it'd be very difficult to find what you need. Um, and on top of that, this cabinet we found um, in a facility that has 25 people in it, and this is typically a cabinet that we would use, we would sell to a company or customer that's trying to service 150 people or more. So as you can see, the Cintas is incentivized to oversell. They're not trying to fit you with the best match. And so this is where Smart Compliance and the Safety Hub app can really save customers a lot of money in the long run on their refill items. And so that brings us to our Safety Hub app. Um, and so as we were launching Smart Compliance into the market, we were still seeing some customers turn to the van delivery services because they simply just didn't want to have to deal with reordering. Um, and so that's when our president sort of came up with the idea of how can we make this process um, of ordering from end user to distributor so easy that the customer would be silly not to take on the savings associated with this self-managed system. And that's when we came up with um, Smart Compliance Safety Hub app. Um, you can save, send, and track all requisitions, reorders that you send to your distributor. Um, you can set automatic reminders to tell you that it's time to restock the cabinet or do a physical inventory check. And these reminders will come in the form of a push notification that'll be sent directly to your smartphone or tablet. And you can also benefit from automatic reminders to perform safety checks on AEDs, spill control, and eye wash stations, as well as fire extinguishers. So while you cannot reorder anything on the app for AEDs, fire extinguishers, spill control, or eye wash stations, you have the benefit of setting those automatic reminders in your phone to remind you that it's time to check the service date on the fire extinguisher or change the batteries in the AED or the eye wash is expiring. So again, you can't reorder, but you benefit from uh, uh, the reminders on your phone, forcing you to stay compliant and reminding you to stay compliant. Um, the app also has offline mode for customers that are in a location that does not have Wi-Fi or cell service. They can still use the app, and once they're connected to Wi-Fi or cell service, it will sync everything that they've done. Um, And the app also has a built-in barcode scanner so that you can reorder the refills by scanning the barcodes on either the outside of the boxes, refill boxes, or this yellow smart tab. You can scan the barcode as well to populate a requisition order. And then the added benefit with the Smart Safety Hub app as well is that there is a backend management portal that all of this information is saved to. So every kit you add, every staff member that joins, every order that you place, every inventory check you do is all saved to the backend, and all of that information can be exported to an Excel file. And so this is getting started page to just simplify the login process, as I've had a lot of questions on logging in. I've sent Rebecca and Allison a one pager that looks very similar to this that you guys can send to your customers as well to help them get set up. But essentially, you can download the app from the Apple iTunes Store. the Google Play store if you have Android, or at the MSC app at work store as well. You search FAO Safety Hub. It's a free download. Go ahead and download it. And then once you have downloaded and you click on it, you'll be prompted with a login screen like this. If you've never used the app before and you do not have a username or password, you go ahead and click this sign up button at the bottom, and it's going to bring you to this registration page. You go ahead and fill out all the basic information. The most important part on this number 3 photo right here is this company group code section right here. It's got an exclamation mark directly to the right of it. This is how you direct users to the MSC customized instance. And you do so by having them type in this company group code, MSC042018. Once they type this in, they'll be brought to the MSC version of the app, and you can tell that it's the MSC version because it's got the MSC colors and the MSC logo once you've completed the registration. And this is going to be key for the backend management side of the app. Is you're going to want all of your customers on the MSC version so that all of that information is saved to the backend and then can be exported and sent to the customers. So you go ahead and you fill out that registration information, type in the company group code, and then at the bottom here on the step 4, it's going to ask you to load a cabinet before beginning. And so if you don't have a cabinet in front of you and you just want to play around with the app, you can enter any of our smart compliance model numbers or any of the ProSafe model numbers into the cabinet model number prompt, which you can see here on step 5. And so, for example, I've got one in front of me. If you're listening and you want to go ahead and use a sample item number, you can use 316-87791. That's 316-87791. That is a ProSafe cabinet, but you can go ahead and type that in if you're just demoing the app. Otherwise, if you have a cabinet in front of you, you can enter the model number and serial number, which can be found on the barcode that's on the outside of the cabinet. But again, if you don't have one, you can just enter that kit number I gave you, and then for serial number, you can just enter 12345 if you're demoing it. Otherwise, enter the serial number that's on the barcode of the cabinet you're using. You create your username and password, and once you're done, you click register, and you're off and running. And so the basic reorder process for the Safety Hub app is customers will open up their cabinet. They will look for all the yellow smart tabs that are indicating that it's time to reorder. They'll log on to their app, and then they can either scan the boxes or tap which items they'd like to reorder, and then go ahead and send the requisition off to MSC. And just to give you guys a quick demo of what that looks like. All right, I'll do that at the end actually. So that's how the reorder process typically goes. And so for the backend management tool, if anybody who's listening wants more information on that, you can contact category management and they can connect you with me, and we can do a deeper dive on this. But just kind of top level, the backend management tool is where you're going to mass upload cabinets and mass upload staff members. So every time you log in, the backend is going, every new user that logs in, the backend management is going to save that user into this portal. If you have a customer with multiple locations and multiple users and you don't want to have all of them manually upload all of this information, you can log into the backend here and with the import button, download a CSV template and enter all of the required information and mass upload all of this information to the backend so that customers don't have to do it one by one. All of this information can be exported to a Excel file. And then it's just a great way to have oversight on all of the cabinet activity to guarantee compliance. The other aspect of the backend management portal is the reports that you can generate for customers. So I was speaking about earlier that the van services don't provide any reporting. Our backend management tool provides two types of reports. We have an item usage report, and I put an example of it in this slide right here. You can report on a cabinet over a given period of time. You can see here it's July through August, and it will go ahead and give you a list of all of the items within that cabinet and the frequency that they were ordered. This allows customers to um, properly forecast and understand their first aid spend. They can take a look here and say, hey, this refill pack, I only needed one in the end of July, but now in the beginning of August, I needed 21. What's going on here? Is there a training issue? Is there a theft issue? Um, so it really allows customers to understand where their money is going with these first aid refills. And then the other report that you can generate is a requisition report. And that's just going to show you all of the requisition reorders that were placed for that cabinet with the shipping information attached with it. So two reports, requisition report and item usage report. I think the item usage report is most useful for customers that are really trying to understand and their first aid spend and trying to save as much money as possible. This is going to help them out the most. And so the app was originally designed to reorder smart compliance refill components, but as we were creating this app and testing it out in the field, we found that there were other categories that or other issues and pain points that customers had with their first aid products, and so we tried to address those with some other features. One being the physical inventory check. Um, we're aware that every time you check the cabinet, you might not always need to refill the cabinet, but you still want to create an inventory log. And so we have a physical inventory a check button that you can go ahead and create an inventory log for these cabinets. And this is a great tool for um, any customer that has sort of a high risk of injury at the workplace. If there's ever an accident on site and OSHA shows up, the first question they ask is, when was the last time that cabinet was checked? And 9 out of 10 times people on the floor don't know. With this physical inventory check, um, you can actively create a log and always have access to when the cabinet was last checked. And you can see up at the top here, it says inventory last checked 10/26/2018. So any Safety Hub app user is going to have that information in their pocket. And so they can always be ready for any sort of inspection or any questions that may be asked if there's ever in the event of an accident. And then there's the personalization piece. So we've created this custom instance for MSC. We've put MSC part numbers in there as well on top of our FAO part numbers. If there's ever any issue with how the app looks, how it reads, any additional information you want the app to capture, please reach out to MSC. They'll get in contact with me. We're happy to work with anyone to try to tailor this app to specific needs. So the way it looks right now, not final. We can always make adjustments and tweak it. And then these are the 4 ProSafe SKUs that we've got set up with MSC. These are the 4 cabinets, smart compliance cabinets that you guys have available to sell. There are 2 large smart compliance cabinets and then 2 extra large smart compliance cabinets. These are going to be, the large are going to be for the around 50 people range, and then the XL is going to be to 150 plus. We've got these 2 right here. These are all MSC part numbers. And the difference between this first one, the 316-87759, is that it has medication. This 316-56234 does not have medication, but essentially the same cabinet but with one with medication and one without. And then we've got the 2 XL cabinets, and these are going to be for more of your industrial settings, and they treat 150 or more people. So Again, the only major difference between these two is that this one here does not have medication, and the 316877791 does. And so now I'm just going to quickly show uh, what the reorder process looks like on the app. I'm just going to pull up my phone here real quick.
And this is Rebecca again. As James was mentioning through the presentation, we primarily inducted first aid only and the smart compliance solution to compete in the field with people like Cintas. So think of the vending and the VMI customers. Either customers can scan the cabinets themselves when they see that yellow smart compliance an easy reorder tab, meaning they're getting low on certain items, or you as a seller can go into the customer and just easily scan this and keep a very managed look at what your customers have in their first aid kit. As you know, or as you may not know, first aid is actually regulated by ANSI, so it's required by the government that customers and facilities have first aid kits.
Yes, thank you for adding that, Rebecca. And it's going off of that, it's one of the things that makes it easier sell in a sense is that most people don't realize that they have to have first aid, but everybody has to have it by law. So a typical, hey, can I take a look at your first aid cabinet is going to show a salesman that the customer probably is not compliant, and this is a great solution for them to get compliant and save money. This is the dashboard. Once you log into the Safety Hub app, you'll know you're in the MSC instance by the colors and the logo at the top. This is a kit I've loaded for this demo. If you'd like to add additional kits, you can simply click this plus button at the bottom here. And it's going to show you, it's going to give you a shortened version of the registration page I talked about earlier. Again, only required fields are going to be the model number and serial number. Once you've added that, it'll pop up on the dashboard here. And once it's time to reorder, go ahead and click on the cabinet you're trying to manage. Up at the top left here, you'll see a photograph of the cabinet and a show layout button beneath it. If you click on that show layout button, it's going to give you a schematic of the first aid cabinet and show you where each individual part number goes, so there's never any confusion when you're restocking. But you simply go ahead and select the items that you'd like to reorder. You can access the barcode scanner by clicking on this barcode button at the bottom here. You go ahead and click on it, it'll access your camera, and you can scan the barcodes on the outside of the boxes or the yellow smart tabs within the refill packs to populate a requisition order that way. But once you're all set, you click the items that you need to reorder, click selected items at the bottom here. It will ask you to review a requisition. You can save it to a draft and come back to it later, or you can go ahead and click continue once you're satisfied. And it will bring you to this place requisition page where you can enter the email address where you want the order to go to. And then there's an additional field for purchase order number and shipping instructions. Once you go ahead and click, you've entered the email address where you'd like to go, click place requisition, and a checkbox will pop up indicating that your order has been placed.